How many of you felt that your mom was stressed and overwhelmed when you were a child? Like they had so much on their plate, they were trying to make ends meet, they were trying to do it all, and they weren't really there for you. Were they able to be present physically at school events or other things? Did they spend time with you? Were they able to be emotionally available? Meet your emotions with unconditional love? Were they able to help you when you needed help? Or did you feel like you couldn't even ask them for help? You didn't want to stress them out more, and you decided that you're just going to figure it out and do it by yourself. Did you feel like you were alone and you did have to do things by yourself? So most of our moms were doing their best with the resources and awareness that they had in the moment. And what sometimes happens in these situations is that our needs as the child were not met. They were neglected. And when this happens, we don't create a secure attachment with our mom. We don't feel like our needs are being met, and therefore we come up with coping skills, coping strategies that help us survive in that moment. Because what any child wants is unconditional love and a secure attachment from their caregivers. So maybe you became hyper independent to compensate. And maybe you felt like you were responsible to take care of everyone else. And this pattern may have continued until adulthood and into motherhood. And this shows up in ways where we don't allow others to take care of us, and we don't prioritize our own wants and needs. And this continues until we burn out as a mom. And then what ends up happening is we become that stressed and overwhelmed mom, and the cycle continues. Have you ever thought of it this way? Have you ever kind of compared your experience as a child to your child's experience now as a child? Right? And what I mentioned was just one way that we could possibly compensate. Maybe, possibly, you became really anxious as a child, and you started to question and wonder if your wants and needs were really all that important. And maybe you started to prioritize others' wants and needs and put them as more valuable, like put them up on a pedestal. Maybe you became a people pleaser, where you did anything possible to help please the other person, or whoever that may be in your life. Maybe you tried to get your needs met by acting out, by getting into trouble or doing things, anything to draw attention to you. Or maybe you did your best in school and got straight A's and became an overachiever to get that acknowledgement and love that you were looking for. So all of these are examples of patterns that we learn as children, and we create blueprints in our nervous system and emotional regulation that continues into adulthood. It's the reason why so many moms feel overwhelmed and touched out today. It's because of these blueprints that have been set up and living in our nervous system, living in our bodies since childhood. And so as a mom, you may feel like you can't take time for yourself, like you can never do enough, and that you aren't enough no matter what you do for your family and your little ones. And you may feel like you're taking care of everyone else, as no one's there to really take care of you. And what I want you to know is that I was there too. My name is Dr. Beata, and I'm a holistic and integrative doctor of physical therapy, and I now help moms through this transformation. My personal story is my daughter had a lot of medical conditions, food allergies, colic, reflux, eczema when she was born, and we had a really, really challenging time. Through that process, our providers weren't helpful. I recognized that I didn't have the family support that I wish I had, and it really placed me in a dark place. And it took me reaching rock bottom to realize that it was up to me and only me to get out of this place where I was, but also to break this generational cycle. And ultimately, I did it for myself, but also I did it because it's not the experience that I wanted for my daughter. I wanted her to have a mom that was going to be there for her physically, emotionally, and mentally. A mom who was emotionally regulated, whose nervous system was regulated, and could handle the big emotions, the tantrums, the messes, the play, the crying, the boo-boos, our medical conditions, our health concerns, and everything else that comes with having a baby, or she was soon to be a toddler at that time. And one thing that was really important for me is that I didn't want to stifle her personality. I didn't want to try to make her fit into a box. I wanted to allow her to become her own person, to develop her own creativity, to create herself authentically and unapologetically. That's what my heart yearned for her, because part of me felt like I didn't get that opportunity as a child. And throughout this process, initially especially, I didn't realize what I was doing. I used mindfulness practices to help my anxiety, which was spiraling out of control. I did a lot of breath work, which was something I was already familiar with from my physical therapy practice. And what I didn't realize was happening was that I was actually beginning to regulate my nervous system. I started to climb out of that dark hole. And what ended up happening is I searched for answers. I wouldn't give up. So I found practitioners and mentors. I dove into alternative health, gut health. I became so committed and dedicated to myself. And as I learned and incorporated skill after skill, my life literally transformed before my eyes. And ultimately, our external circumstances were not that different. My daughter still had food allergies. She was still extremely sensitive. We were still on limited diets. We still had the stresses of those medical conditions. I still didn't have a lot of support from family. We did have practitioners, though. That was huge. But what I realized is that even though externally our situation wasn't all that different, we were experiencing a completely different reality. We were experiencing joy daily. I was calmer. I was more confident and finally able to be truly present with my daughter. I wasn't stuck in anxiety. My mind wasn't going elsewhere. I wasn't stuck on my phone researching for hours. I was able to sit there and be present with her, with whatever she was feeling in the moment. If it was pain that she was feeling, I was able to be present with that. And it may have felt uncomfortable, but I was able to sit with her through that and just say, hey, I know it hurts right now. Your tummy really hurts. And it's going to be okay. We're going to get through this. Months before and even a year before, I wouldn't have been able to do that. When she would cry, I would go into a panic. I would go into anxiety. And I would be, again, stuck in my head or stuck on my phone. I wasn't being present with her. I wasn't being the mom that I wanted to be for her. And along with this transformation, I started becoming calmer, way more confident. And I finally, again, was able to be really present, not just with my daughter, but with myself. And that's part of the magic of this nervous system regulation work. And what also happened is that our health conditions improved. And this is a missing piece, because you can be taking lots of supplements, you can be on crazy elimination diets, on healing protocols. If your nervous system is not wired to receive and to heal, you're not in a healing state, you're not going to get progress. And what ended up happening is I had blood tests come back negative after they were positive months before. Both of us, especially my daughter, was able to tolerate more foods. And especially recently, this past year, as I've really committed myself to this nervous system regulation work, our foods list has, multiplied. It is unbelievable. We were sleeping better. We were able to, again, have more joy and fun during the day. I had more energy than I've ever remembered actually having as an adult. And really, ultimately, we were loving life. Even though, again, our external circumstances were not all that different. And this is the transformation I help other moms with. And so it doesn't matter if you are the one having health challenges, if it's your little one having health challenges. One of my subspecialties is colic, reflux, eczema, food allergies, and especially breastfeeding elimination diets. healing leaky gut. Those are my subspecialties. However, this work is so important for all moms, especially if you identify with feeling this overwhelm and stress that you may also see generationally and have experienced from your own mom as well. And so I help you with this transformation to regain your inner peace, to trust your heart and tap into your soul and intuition so that you can heal holistically and become the mom that you wish you had and that you want to be for your little ones and for your family. You have the power within. I'm just here to guide you and show you the steps, show you the way. And what I want to do is for the moms that are really interested in this, that are, again, committed and dedicated to themselves, that are ready to take this step forward and ready to not just invest in themselves, but really transform their lives. And because the reason is that when we do that, this ripples out to our entire families. This doesn't just affect us. It affects our little ones. It affects our household. It affects everyone we come in contact with. This improves your job. It improves your friendships, all relationships. So what I want to offer you is 50% off of a guidance call where we can identify your challenges, explore how this integrative approach focusing on nervous system regulation can help you on your journey. Because beautiful mom, you are worth it. I want you to know that from the bottom of my heart. You are worth it, you are deserving, and your needs and wants matter. They are important, and it's time for you to reclaim that power. I want you to feel empowered that it is okay for you to prioritize yourself. Because when we do that, again, our experience in motherhood and the experience that our children have elevates to a place where we can connect with them on such a deeper level. So if you'd like to take me up on this offer, message me the word guide, Guide, or post it below in the comments and I'll contact you and I'll get you more information about how we connect and then what are some of the options for ways to work together going forwards. So as always, I wish you and your little ones all the best, and I will see you soon.